Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, whatever the time of the day or night it is, you're tuning in to First Report, something or other. Haven't even checked it.
No, we haven't looked with this guy, Clayton Mitchell.
Yeah, and this is Fletch, your Tapper Two Toes, commonly, affectionately known as the Professor in the house. Great to have you back with us, mate. You've been away.
Good to be in the country. Yeah. Been in the Middle East for about a week. A pretty incredible trip, trade, investment. It was a great...
Tell us about syntax.
Syntax, well, it's actually more common than I realised. So around the world, there's a tax.
It wasn't part of the tax working group, by the way.
No,
it's not. We're not
discussing it in New Zealand. A tax on sinful products. So alcohol's So
what did you pay for a nice bottle of beer in Qatar when you were recently there? Tell the crowd, they'll be pleased to know you mortgaged your house.
Credit card bill got it back, $22.
What? Oh my God! People are complaining in New Zealand when they go to the pub. $22 for a beer. I think I'd be going to drinking soda water. Anyway, Fletch, we're under time pressures today because the house is about to. The bells are about
running
to go.
down to the house. Yep.
And I'd like to just update the people at home on the tax bill that went through yesterday. And what does that mean for New Zealanders? And obviously, tax has been a big part of the conversation recently.
Well, it's really important and it's really fundamental, right? And people have got up in arms about this independent tax advisory group. But actually, what I wanted to talk about was the third reading of the tax legislation that's just gone through the House. So, for example, KiwiSaver, you used to, if you were 60 to 65, you used to have to wait 5 years before you could get your entitlement, and now you don't have to.
Great.
If you're over 65, you can use KiwiSaver now to
as a saving mechanism,
whereas before you couldn't.
Because some of the returns have been pretty good, haven't they? We've had some.
Well, that's what I said in the House yesterday,
returns,
actually.
Yeah.
And one of the other big things, which for I think New Zealand First in particular is such a great outcome, is around the secondary tax.
Yeah.
So it's technical, but basically what the modernisation of the system means is we're essentially getting rid of the secondary tax rate system. So a short conversation with IRD, understand what your income is for the year, and you'll pay a tax rate, not these multiple.
Yeah.
So it's really exciting. It's just been a good, sensible bill. And of course, just so people realise, despite the rhetoric from the other side, or rhetoric, whatever, there are no tax increases, which is part of the legislation.
You heard it here first. We're making tax sexy. It's a conversation
we're
you can all have
to.
around the dinner table. All right, great stuff.
What about you, mate? It's I think we're pretty much halfway through.
We're 1 month away from midterm,
right?
So we really are right in the middle of midterm, and I think it's a good opportunity for us to reflect on what we've been doing as a government. I can reflect on 9 years of the previous government, but we're not going to waste our time.
Well, that would only take a sentence.
Yeah, well, that's
not
right.
Much.
Well, the first thing we've stopped doing is giving money to multinationals and letting them get away without paying any tax.
Yeah, well, there's another great tax outcome just recently.
Yeah, right. And that's not only about fairness and making sure that those foreign national companies, multinational companies actually add to our value of our country, but it actually puts our companies on a level playing field with those multinationals.
So important.
We've stopped foreign speculations buying up all of our precious housing stock, and we've seen a bit of a cooling off, a softening of it.
Which is great. It's a great response, the softening, Yeah.
I mean, we can talk about the Provincial Growth Fund, but I think that speaks for itself. I mean, the provinces are seeing that in spades. It's creating jobs, it's creating developments, it's creating wealth opportunities.
It's been a year since the first announcement, and as I move around, it's becoming tangible now.
Yeah.
People are seeing the difference the investments are making in our provinces. It's awesome. And
we just can keep going on. The billion dollar tree strategy, which was poo-hooed and we were chastised for initially. Now we're seeing that we're actually on target for those billion trees over 10 years, which is twice. It's doubling what we originally had planted, but it also is helping with our international commitments for the Paris Accord, for the carbon emissions. So creating jobs and offsetting that $1.4 billion that the National Party signed us up for with the Paris Accord to ensure that we manage our outputs of carbon. That billion tree strategy is an essential part to that. But we've raised the minimum wage, towards a living wage, and that's the largest increase of the minimum wages coming through on the 1st of April by $1.20 per hour. We've got a tax package which is being worked on to ensure that we can actually make sure businesses can afford to pay that.
Yes, there's that, but that's more money in the hands of consumers around New Zealand as well. So let's not forget that cycle, that money go around, that's right. An economy, and more money in people's hands means more spending. So. Yep.
And I'll just finish off on the $1 billion R&D tax fund, which is made available on the 1st of April.
Who knew this was a tax?
It's all about tax, making tax fun again. So that's essential, right? Because we have said as a coalition government, and we actually New Zealand First pushed for this, that we've got to get R&D to 2% in our country. If we want to develop and create opportunities that didn't previously exist, then we've got to actually invest into coming up with new initiatives and innovative ways to create wealth opportunities.
It's that whole productivity.
And we're a little way away from getting to that magic number of 2%, but we're at 1.37% without the $1 billion fund coming into line on the 1st of April. So you're going to see a huge lift there, and what's coming out of it is fantastic. So
I've been on the select committee, and the submissions have been great, really supportive, so it's exciting.
So keep your sunglasses on back at home. The future's looking pretty bright here with New Zealand First at the helm. And it's been great to have you sit here with us in my very humble abode.
Cheers, everyone. Catch you later.
See you next week.